Hi guys, Adam here from Sublimation Supplies, and today I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to sublimate our polymer mugs. Now, for the purposes of this tutorial, I will be using our standard 11-ounce polymer mug, but the same principles and process apply to the rest of the products in the polymer range. Okay, what you'll need to join at home is some form of mug press. We'll be using the J-Trans press that comes with our basic business in a box starter kit for mugs. You can find a link to that and everything else I'll be using in this video in the description below. Okay, first things first, we're going to need an image to put on the mug. So I will quickly transfer myself over to the office where I will show you how I size up the images for these mugs. All right guys, see you there. Hi guys, so here we are at the computer ready to size our image for those mugs. Okay, what you'll need is an image editing software. Now the one we use is Photoshop, but any of the others will do. The process may be slightly different, but the general principles are the same. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got a document ready to go which is sized up to the proportions of the mug. Now I'll be printing the image for this mug at 7.677 inches wide and 3.2 inches high. I find that fits nicely on the mug. You might like it slightly bigger or slightly smaller, and it's easy enough to change just by coming into this dialog here. Okay, what you do want to make sure is that you're printing at 300 pixels per square inch, or DPI, as this will make sure that you don't get any of that pixelation effect on your text or your images when you come to sublimate them onto the mug. Alright, so all you need to do now, once you've got that document open, is we just need to find an image to put on our mug. Okay, so we're going to use this image of Sydney Harbour Bridge. That's great, and once it's in the document, you just scale it up so that it fits the size, and we just frame it nicely on the image. Okay, now this template will be available in the comments below. It will be available as a PSD file for fellow Photoshop users, a PDF, or as a JPEG. Okay, so once you're happy with the size, you go to File and Print. Now with us using the Ricoh Africo printer, we need to go to there, and and if you're on a PC, you will use the Power Driver V4 that you've downloaded from the Sawgrass website, as that does most of the hard work for you. Okay, if you're on a Mac, you can also get the ICC profiles for the printer from the Sawgrass website. Okay, now when I'm printing these mugs, I like to use the 11-ounce Mug Photo A4 preset. It just makes sure there's enough ink down, and it gives a really nice finish on the mugs. Okay, keep everything else the same, and if you are printing text, remember to click mirror. Make sure that box is checked, otherwise you will get mirror writing when you sublimate your product. Okay. Alright, so once that's done, you want to leave everything else the same. Printer manages colours, and we just click print, and that's gone to the printer. Okay, so we've got our nicely printed picture of Sydney and the mug that it's going to go on. We've also got some heat tape to attach image to mug. So what you need to do is obviously turn the image so it's facing the mug, and we'll get that right on there. Best idea is to use the handle, I find, to centre the image on the mug. There we go. And then we just need a little bit of tape. I tend to tape one edge and then use that as sort of a solid base to make sure everything's nice and straight, and make sure it's tight all the way around so the image is in contact with the surface of the mug. Tape it down, then I tend to put a little bit of tape in the middle, on the top and on the bottom. I find that just helps stop the image moving while it's sublimating. Okay, then what we need to do is we need to get the press set up. So press knocks on, it'll beep and count down from 4, and then it's ready to set. So we press the mode button. Now we want the resting temperature of the press to be at 140 degrees C or 284 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and then we click mode again, which sets the temperature, the pressing temperature, which we have got set at 200 degrees to press the mug. Okay, and then we press mode again, and we want to press it for 180 seconds. Okay, so basically what will happen is you put the mug in, it'll heat it up to temperature, and then it'll press it for the time specified. Alright, so while that's heating up, the other thing we need to do is we need to get the insert, which is this little tool here, and what that does is that sits right in the mug, and that stops it deforming too much when we're heating them. Okay. All right, so the press is up to temperature, as you can hear by that beeping sound. That means it's got to that 140 degree resting temperature. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our mug, and this is a standard Teflon sheet that you would use in baking. we just find that it protects the image a little bit and stops you getting little marks from the heating element from the press, okay? So I'm gonna wrap my mug in the Teflon. Try and make sure the handle's roughly in the middle so you can figure out where you're gonna be. And then slide this into your press, line the handle up in the middle and close the press and press the green button. Now what will happen is this press will then heat up to the 200-degree press temperature and then begin to count down that 180 seconds while the image sublimates, okay? We're using a medium pressure on these mugs. You don't want too much. Again, as you'll start to see the heat elements coming through, and you can also, when it's hot, bend the plastic a little bit. All right, okay, so we'll wait till that finishes. That beeping means that the mug is ready, so just open the press. Now you'll find the Teflon does adhere a little bit to the inside, but it doesn't actually melt, so it's okay. So we pull that out of there. I'm going to knock that off for now for the sake of talking to you. Okay, so what we do is take the insert out. Now, gloves are important because these inserts get really hot. I'm going to put that over there. Okay, then what you want to do is look down on the mug and just, it will have deformed a little bit. Just give it a bit of a squeeze just to get it back into shape. And then dip it in some lukewarm room temperature water. This just helps set the plastic again and stabilise everything. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just going to pull the paper off the image. I'll take my gloves off for this. And there is your photograph sublimated onto your mug. This is obviously how we do things. If you do it differently and want to share that, get it in the comments below. We're always willing to learn from you guys. Also, if you have any questions for us, get them in the comments below as well. If you subscribe, that's where we answer all the questions. You can get us on all the social media as well, or come to us direct at dyesublimatonsupplies.co.uk. All right, guys, have a good one and happy sublimating.